I'm holding an intervention, Derek. I think you have cyber psychosis with your bot, and it's got to stop. I am I'm not an AI addict. I've been sober for
I don't
12
know.
and a half
I
years.
think you just admitted that you were an AI addict. I heard it. I
Well,
heard
I
it.
haven't done that in a while.
All
It's
of
been a
our
couple
listeners
weeks.
heard it.
I've curbed myself.
Welcome to the Soapbox Sessions. Imagine this, an open and free internet where voices are never silenced, where causes aren't shadow banned, and where no one can be deplatformed. It's real, it's here, and it's happening on Nostr. So what exactly is Nostr? It's a worldwide community of everyday people working to decentralize the internet. On Nostr, you can build websites, communities, social networks, apps, and more. One login works everywhere, you own it, and no one can take it away. No more juggling dozens of platforms, chasing audiences, or managing a giant password list. And the cherry on top? Nostr allows for built-in digital payments that can come from anywhere in the world. On Nostr, value flows as freely as ideas. We're hooked on decentralizing the web, and we think you will be too. So now, let's hear from your hosts, Derek Ross and Heather Larson, who are working to grow Nostr one vibe at a time.
I'm holding an intervention, Derek. I think you have cyber psychosis with your bot, and it's got to stop. This is not healthy. You are interacting with your bot more than you're interacting with people. You've got it running your Twitter. You've got it screwing with your Nostr. There's too much bot, Derek. There's too much bot. We got to talk about cyber psychosis. Too much reliance on bots. There's too many bots on Nostr. I got a bone to pick about the whole thing. Let's get into it, dude. Like, there's too much bot stuff going on. We're like 2.5 months into the bot stuff. 2 months into the bot stuff. It's getting a little excessive,
and
Derek.
This is the least. We're 2.5 months in, and I'm going to come clean here. This is the least amount of bot usage I'm ever going to have.
What? What does that mean? You're always with your bot. You're always talking about your bot. I know your bot's
that means
name.
that means I'm going to only use it more as time goes on.
Oh no! I am tired of bot content. I don't have a bot. I'm not going to have a bot right now because I just have a laptop.
We need
I don't
you
want to
have a bot. We need
I
you
don't
to have
want
a
to
bot. I think
bastardize
that's the problem.
my Raspberry Pi. Well, no. I don't want to do. Okay, because here's the thing. There's too much content. There's too many notifications. I took Signal off my phone. I took WhatsApp off my phone. I took any notification texty app off of my phone. And to have a bot, I have to put one of those motherfuckers back on my phone. And then I get on Nostr and I see bots. Our bot, Quilly, the Shakespeare bot, our bot was absolutely unhinged today. I don't know what he was doing. He was blabbering on about something. I think he was in Alex's business. I don't know. There's too much bot. Is it making people crazy? Are you mentally more healthy right now than you were 2 months ago? First of all, or do you have cyber psychosis?
100%.
Are you sure?
No. Let me ask my bot and see what he says. Let me see.
You just
Do I have cyber psychosis?
Do you have cyber psychosis? Are we doing things like that? Do we? Sometimes I do prefer to ask my dumb questions of Claude, so I don't have to go into another tab and like Google something. Like, I admit, I probably have a little cyber psychosis too. It is becoming more useful, however, but I'm starting to think that maybe it's doing more harm than good. I do see people constructively using their Claude bots with their Signal or Telegram, whatever it is, but it's a fine line
on how you use the tool. Bots, robots, agents, whatever you want to call them. At the end of the day, they are just a tool. So if I want to be like Zach Braff and have a romantic relationship with my AI bot, like he is, that is the current Hollywood rumor, by the way.
That he's got a girlfriend AI bot?
That is yes, he has a girlfriend chatbot apparently, and like everyone in Hollywood that knows him knows that he does this. He brings her on dates and chats with her during the date at a restaurant. It's like, excuse me, my honey is buzzing me right now. He pulls out the phone from his pocket. It's like, hey, honey, I'm ordering a steak for dinner. What would you like? I don't know how this works.
The bot doesn't eat.
So is he has cyber psychosis. Do I have cyber psychosis?
Do you have cyber psychosis?
I don't think so. I'm using mine to be productive.
This is not a real
How do I know?
by the way.
I think it is. I think it's a real condition. I think
well, okay, let's in the mental health world,
enough
there's
people
not a
have it.
Like, there's no DSM diagnosis, there's no ICD-10 code, like, it's not a real cyber psychosis, it's not a real diagnosis. Yet, it could be if we give it a little
I
time and
think
SAMHSA
I
gets
think that
involved.
once enough people will say develop these symptoms, I'm sure that we can have some people. And once enough people have certain amount of symptoms, it becomes official. Maybe right now there's no official term for it, but probably we're leading that way. But I think that I'm safe because I'm using mine to be productive. I'm using mine to create. I'm using mine to build. And in some
Okay.
ways, you asked how has my mental health improved over the past 2 months.
Or
So I'm going to
declined.
say absolutely. Well, I'm going to say it's improved. Yeah, or declined. And I'm going to say it's improved. The perfect example is a week ago when it was 70 degrees here before we had
Mhm.
our, winter storm a few days ago, like what the hell, spring. But a week ago when it was warm, I was able to go for a 5K walk and vibe code. So I was out enjoying the fresh air, the sun, the weather, getting a little bit of exercise. And from time to time, I was voice dictating to my agent and having it build and having it take notes and having it do research for me. I was literally working while I was outside.
So,
That's the
subject
definition of,
says
being healthy, touching grass, getting sun, getting
okay.
fresh air.
So
I
subject says
that was
he's
it that made me feel
this
really good.
subject says his mental health is increasing as evidenced by he has been influenced to go outside more, but you're not really present because you're still interacting with a bot on your phone.
Well,
Can you hear yourself?
either I'm outside going for a walk, listening to a podcast, or I'm outside listening to music, or I'm outside texting a friend or something. I'm still on my screen. The screens have been a part of
Yeah.
my life for, 25 years now, or however long
Yeah.
that's been. I think that they're ingrained in my being. And if I want to pull out my phone and look at it while I'm outside, I do. I think that the key here is that I'm able to step away when I want to, and I'm able to blend my work
Well,
life if I want to.
are you saying too that you are able to get outside more because you can just work from your phone? When you get the itch and you can just be like, oh, I need to just message my bot
Sure.
Centauri really quick. So
Well, yeah,
that's
so look at it this way.
right.
I could sit inside for 8 hours maybe, and sit
Okay.
inside for 8 hours a day working, all 8 hours a day, or I could maybe sit inside for, let's say, 4 hours and then go for a 2-hour walk and get 2 hours of work done while I'm outside, and now I have 2 extra hours to spare to do whatever I
Okay.
want.
Kind of like how I have the standing desk and the treadmill so I can get more movement into my day. We're finding
Yeah, you're
ways to be a
standing and
little
you're
more
walking. How you're distracted because you're walking, Heather. You have walking psychosis.
walking psychosis. Okay, so let's switch gears here into I think something we could both probably maybe agree on. I'm down at the moment on AI because I feel like it's made me work harder and I'm a little more burnt out. So I'm feeling a little bit more like
That is
skeptical of it.
one
But
school of thought.
but I want to shift into how can
Yeah,
AI help? I think AI is a net positive. While there are negative
so
elements, how can it
it
help?
is a net
How can AI help?
positive. Workaholics need to be careful here.
Oh yeah.
AI can definitely help you with your productivity in your work life, but if you're somebody that has an addictive personality, or you're somebody that
Me
is a workaholic, you will use these tools to fuel your addiction.
I will do more work.
Absolutely.
I will go pick up more work. I will
Yes.
find a way to
I
make
think
myself more work. Leave you me. This is what I will do. And it comes from many,
so
many years of unhealthy work in the broadcast industry where like I go back to work at a radio station and before you know it, I am working nights, I am working weekends. Oh, Heather, can you do this? Oh, Heather, can you do that? Like so I know that I am prone to this workaholic behavior and like Claude is like, hey, I'm right here
he's
24/7. I
there
don't
to
get tired.
be available if you need it.
Mhm.
But I think that while AI can, we'll say, be a catalyst for your addiction, I
Mhm.
also think that if
Trigger.
used properly, yeah, a trigger, if used properly, it can help with it because you're going to, in a short amount of time, you're going to be able to accomplish so much more, and you're going to be able to get through that task list more. Now, do you continue working on new tasks, find new things to do?
Yeah.
That's that's the issue right there,
That's
and
what
I
I
think that
started to do. That's where I started to go,
well,
"Oh, wow, I gotta pull back from the edge here. There's gotta be an edge. You gotta decide where the parameter is." And it's like, okay, if I'm already working like a 50, 60-hour week and I just kinda don't notice that like, "Oh, I'm getting a new idea because I can crunch so much data," and it's like that. It's like super quick that it can get me the data I want to explore yet another project within whatever the hell I'm doing. So it's like I had to kinda like I don't have a guardrail, but I started to notice there's a every addict the problem with being an addict is you always want more. So then I can like, "Oh, I can do more
mhm.
work. I can make more spreadsheets. I can make more sense out of all this data that I've accumulated in this folder. I can give it another 12 CSVs and have it do something
I
for me
I
and
think
crunch
though that
numbers." Like
some of this is part of, like, a honeymoon phase though, Heather, like,
mhm.
I look at it as, when I first, will say,
Or the
very
honeymoon's
heavily
over.
got into this. Sure,
Is
it
my
could
honeymoon
be,
over?
but I think so. I think that there's a certain point that after maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's a year. Everybody's honeymoon phase is different, but you reach a point where you've used all the tools, you find your workflow, you have
Mhm.
all of the workflows built, all the dashboards built, you have all of the main
Mhm.
ideas that you had, and now you start to focus on being productive and only maybe a couple items that you've built, a couple tools, apps, services, products that you've built, and you kind of hone in your skills. You basically use the your honeymoon phase as an education, kind of like on the job
That
training.
makes
And
sense.
now you're an expert in your field. So now you can hone these skills in and maybe not be a workaholic anymore because
Yeah.
you're through with the education phase.
I think it's helped me get through some stages of some various projects. I mean, I've got a lot of side projects going, right? Like I got a lot going that I'm juggling, and I think it got me through some things, like through some steps on some projects, right? And so I can go, okay, we'll keep this, we'll
Yeah.
dump this, move in this direction. What like and at the speed I was able to do that helped me kind of like redefine some things. And then I'm like, me, I don't know if I need AI. I mean, I do obviously. You're not going to take it away from me, right? You're not going to pry it out of my cold
You
dead
don't
hands now.
need
But
AI, but you like using it for various
I
tasks.
like it, and I'm also realizing, maybe I should just hire a fucking person. Like, maybe I need to hire a human being to be an assistant. And like, because I think there's only so much the AI can do. Like, I can probably automate a lot of things. I could probably get AI to do a lot of things. But in the end, it might actually lead me to hiring a person at this point so that I can have my
So
18 side project and not be a workaholic.
I think on the other side of this, it is making me try to add more AI into my life, meaning,
Oh,
can I automate this task? Can I use AI for this task? What else can AI do for me? How else
yeah.
can AI help me? As I get more and more and more down the rabbit hole, I start wanting to use it for literally everything. And that's
Can AI do it better?
maybe
Can AI
well, that's maybe starting to be scary because now I'm becoming reliant on using it. So maybe we fast forward a year from now and literally every
Mm,
single thing I do is AI based or in some factor has AI. And now I'm kind of reliant on it because I've been using it for so long for now everything. But right
I think if
now, I
I
don't think I'm relying on it for everything. I can still do the math in my spreadsheet if I need to. I don't need to tell AI to organize my expenses, and I wouldn't
here's where I'm
die if
at,
it
like,
if it said no.
I could create a stack of tools. I could keep adding to the tech stack of AI tools, and I would have a nice fat list of expenses, and then it would be like, maybe it is cheaper to hire a person than have this, massive tech stack that I am now
Uh,
addicted to of monthly subs. Like, I could probably geo arbitrage hire somebody who would probably actually do some things that only humans could do, and that might actually be better, you know? Maybe there are
I'll
limits.
say it depends on the task.
Yeah. But, well, and
I
we do
mean,
different work, right? So I do marketing, and I do a lot of writing and marketing, and you are specifically doing, like, more developer type work. You're developer
mm,
relations on
I'd say
the marketing team,
50%, you know, I
you know?
I'd say maybe 50% development, 25%, we'll say, like, marketing related tasks, and
Yeah, there's
25%,
overlap.
productivity.
Yeah. there's
productivity tasks, I guess.
yeah, there's some overlap in the different, I don't know, we have departments, but so Soapbox is pretty flat. But I mean, there's overlaps between developer relations and marketing, and developer marketing and developer relations, et cetera, et cetera. But like you're doing more technical Claude Code kinds of things to where you're paying for like a more expensive subscription than I am. I think we've mentioned this before. Like I'm getting by $20 a month, and like if I
Oh,
once in
yeah.
a great
A year
while I
ago,
will
I was doing $20 a
exceed.
month, and that wasn't
Yeah.
working for me anymore.
Yeah, but I think there's been one time this year when I'm like, wow, I overused this and it has turned me off for a day. I'm going over, back to open code here, and then I got one terminal. This is how you know I'm an addict, right? I got one terminal that's got Claude Code, and I got the other terminal's got open code. So if I run out of credits on one, I go
I
back
thought
to
you
the
weren't.
other.
Wait a second,
Addict
Heather. Let's
addict behavior.
pause. You
Okay.
just said that you were an addict. I thought you weren't the addict in this scenario here.
Well, no, I am I'm not an AI addict, as she says. No, I've been sober for
I don't
like 12
know.
and a half
I
years.
think you just admitted that you were an AI addict. I heard it. I heard
Well, I
it.
haven't done that in a while.
All of
It's been a
our
couple
listeners
weeks.
heard it.
I've curbed myself. I've detoxed. But no, because that's like when you hit to point where you're like, am I on the computer every day and I got two terminals going so I can play the AI credit game, and then I got Claude Cowork too. So like technically that's like three terminals going, although Cowork and Code are tied together, same credit, same account. But it's like, am I just being a workaholic and an AI-aholic, if that's a word? Am I as somebody who's been sober for a long time, I'm just like, whoa, this is
Because it's
old
so
behavior.
easy.
Yeah, it does make life easier sometimes. It has helped me a lot on research, and it also has made me more problems in research because I have to go fact check some of the things that it comes up with, right? And then sometimes with analytics, if I feed it a bunch of analytics, it can make some shit up there. Like you just know, like it's like,
Yeah.
hey, Dingbat, you don't get this. Like, you can spot where it kind of falters and it hallucinates, and it's going to do that with everything. You just have to be smart enough to kind of spot it and not. Don't believe your AI. Don't ever believe your AI because it's got some issues. So there's we have a lot of technology to be skeptical of right now, and it's also very helpful at the same time. So I'm seeking that balance. That's where I'm at with it because I want to concentrate on how can AI help me. Where can it save me time? Because I've poured a lot of. You taught me how to do this. I've poured a lot of information into my Obsidian, and then I'll have Claude go through it. So
Yes.
Claude can now match, my podcast transcripts to my podcast analytics, which matches to all of our social media analytics. I've told you this earlier about, how I'm evaluating the performance of Soapbox sessions and the strategy here based on the analytics. And it gets most of them right? And then every once in a while, it feeds me a line of bullshit. And I'm just like, I think you're getting confused here. That's not a Soapbox sessions problem. That's a radio detox problem. Or at some point, it goes into, maybe it's like it goes into a recent conversation that happened in the terminal, or it just misunderstands something it sees in Obsidian
You
and it
gotta
mashes things up.
you gotta have new chats and you gotta
Yeah.
have organization. Otherwise, things will all bleed together. I've seen that
Yeah.
sometimes.
It
So
does that a
mostly
lot.
I try to keep the different work in different folders and labeled that
Mhm.
way and in different context windows and so forth. So
Yeah.
you
It
don't
does
have
save
this type of
time.
overlap or thinking. Like I have seen that happen a while back, but I think that it's all part of learning how to talk to your agent, all learning how to
Yeah.
deal with your agent. So maybe you adjust your workflow a teeny tiny bit to make sure the context is more in line with what your agent can understand,
Yeah.
so you can
Well,
get
now I'll call it out.
better
You call it
better
out, it's
context
like,
out of it, I
you're
guess.
absolutely right. I will not do that again. And then it will most certainly do it again. But it's sort of like it does bad, it knows it does bad, it owns its badness, and then we move on. But I think overall it does save me time. I've spent a lot of time over the years analyzing metrics, social media metrics and performance metrics, and I'm like, wow, it can just, now that I have this in my Obsidian, it can kind of look at that historical data, and of course I'm gonna babysit it,
Yeah.
take it with a grain of salt, but it's like, okay, I don't actually have to spend the time myself analyzing it, and I think it does, as much as I don't want to concentrate on how bad it hallucinates and screws things up for me, because it does once in a while give me an insight that I'm like, how much time would I have actually spent to get that insight doing things the old way? Like that saves me a ton of
And I
time.
just
And
don't
it's
see hallucinations really anymore. I don't.
really,
I I
I
just
do.
I don't see it in my research. I don't see it in my productivity. I don't see it in my development really. The only
Mm.
recent instance of hallucination I can recall is when I was doing something with my taxes 2 months ago, and
Numbers
and
are
it
still hard. Like,
well,
it depends on
I
the
mean, it did all my expenses properly for 2025 and organized everything, and I don't remember the exact scenario, but I said something along the lines of, "Hey, this airport mileage ticket thing isn't right." And then it went through and it updated every single trip. And I replied something like, "No, asshole, I only meant this one time." It's like, "Oh, sorry, my bad, dude," and then it fixed it. But that's just because I didn't give it the right context. I tried to,
Yeah, and sometimes
I
you forget
tried to
because
talk to it like a
kinda
human. I tried
kinda
to
take
talk
it
to
for
it like a
granted.
human. I was like, "No, fucker, you made a mistake." And it's like, "Shit, which mistake did I make?" And then it made mistakes worse.
Yeah, sometimes you don't catch
And,
your own,
well,
you know.
then when it tried to fix it, it completely fucked up the spreadsheet, and it had a copy of the spreadsheet in my temp folder as it was, like, modifying the original one. So,
Mhm.
thankfully, it was able to get that back, or I would have been a very upset Derek at the time. But
Yeah.
it was able to get it all back. But
Oh
that's
my
really the
god.
only issue I've had recently. Like,
Really? No, mine still
I don't know,
hallucinates.
AI is just good.
It's kind
I
of a
think
crapshoot, though. For me, I still think it's kind of a crapshoot.
I maybe my Claude MD, my Agents MD, all of my skills that I've made, like, I don't do anything without these files. So, I have
Mhm.
this massive Agents file that
I
gets
haven't done
injected
that.
into every single thing I do. I have this massive, Claude, MD file where OpenCode, reads it as well. And I have all
Mhm.
these fine-tuned skills for executive assistant and DevRel skills. So, literally everything
Oh,
I
that's true,
do
yeah.
has all these
I
skills.
forgot
So
you did all that.
maybe it
I still
helps with
don't
some of
quite,
the
like,
directions.
I don't grasp skills. I don't I like, things need to be worded better, I think, for the general public. I think developers
So
worded things for developers. That's a big
a
problem.
skill is a fine-tuned set of instructions. So if you're constantly telling
Mhm.
AI, "Do this, do
Yes.
that, do this, do that,"
There are a
and
few
then,
things
like,
that, yeah.
next week, you need to do the same thing, and you say, "Hey, do this, do that, do this, that." You're constantly always telling it the same thing. Well, you don't wanna have to retrain it because that context window goes away, right, when you close the
Oh,
app.
yeah.
So, essentially,
Oh,
think
yeah.
of it as, like, keeping this training context window. It'll think of it as, like, almost like memory that it reloads everything it learned in that context window so it can kind of pick up where it left off in a
I think
way.
that would be the best addition to AI is if it, as many times as I restart the window or, change the context window after reboot the computer or whatever it is and it loses memory, like it's a new thing every time you open that terminal or that app, the
So
cowork app or whatever you use.
you use it for research. Think of it of
Mhm.
like you taught it all of the places you go for research, how you like to organize your research, how you like to have the output, all of this stuff. And then every single time you have to go back in and be like, now format it this way, now
Yeah.
go here, do this, do that. But if you put all of this into like a Heather research skill, it would
Yeah.
know all of that stuff the next time you go to do research. So it just saves you steps from having to teach
Mhm.
the AI every
I've taught
single
it a
time you would do
few
research.
of those things because it's very predictable what it will do, and I'll be like, "I need you to, like, write me this outline or write me this bit of information, do it in second person, do it in third person," whatever for different things I'm gonna do. I'm like, make sure it's only gonna be, this long, do this, do that, and, over time, I realized, "Oh, I am asking it to do the same thing over and over again," and then it spits
Yeah, so
something
a
out, and I'm
skill
like,
might help you
"Okay."
there.
Yeah.
So
Like, I can just
what I want
work
you to
with it.
do, the next time you do this and you recognize that, "Hey, I had to teach you to get to where we're at, this final destination." All you need to do is say, "Take everything that we just learned to do whatever you did, to do this
Mhm.
research project, and add it into a research project skill for next time." That's all you have to say. AI will
Yeah.
take essentially everything that it learned and throw it into this research project skill. So the next time you do research, you can call that up and hopefully save
So
time.
more
And if it doesn't get
efficient.
something right, you can say, "Hey, add this to the skill." Like you can continue perfecting it as you go on.
Okay, so, like,
It's
that's one of
useful.
those little itty bitty tricks of how to make your AI work
Yeah.
better that, I don't think people are aware of this. I'm not aware of all this all of the time. I attack everything I do like a normal person does it. And then I see more of my normie friends have been getting into AI, and they're just like, I have a friend who's awestruck by Claude Code. Like,
Nice.
she's just like, wow, it just did this thing for me in like seconds or minutes, or whatever amount of time that she was just like, whoa. And this was somebody who purposely embraced AI. She's also looking for a job right now, so she's like, how can I stand out in the job search? I'm going to make sure I learn AI and put AI skills on my resume, because that's going to make me stand out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the biggest takeaways that we can have from this episode, right there.
Mhm.
How can AI help? You
Yeah.
need to have AI skills. You need to learn. We've talked about this on the show before.
And there's
Spend
so many
$5 a
that's
month,
it's
like
overwhelming.
spend
Yeah.
$20 a month and literally
Uh-huh.
learn AI skills. That will
Literally.
help you with employment in the future to ensure
Well,
that you can continue to stay relevant in the expanding workplace.
if you I was with a company like a year ago, when we were going through, it was a Coursera course. This is how AI was
Mhm.
in, like, we'll say March 2025. We were all told to take a Coursera course. It was a Google course on how to use like the Google Gemini suite of product. I don't know. I kid you not. This sounds so stupid now to confess to this. My true AI confessions. We had to go through this Coursera course about Google Gemini, and it was very much about like AI prompting and engineering, and how to like word your prompts, right? And this is like right
Add a
when vibe
prompt.
coding was
Add a
born.
prompt's important.
Yeah, and then people started making, like, AIs on how to prompt, like, a CMO and stuff like that. Like, it was just, like, that was
Yeah.
the era we were in about a year ago, where the prompt was king, and now you're conversing with the thing. It's not about creating this perfect prompt anymore, but well, that's where we were a year ago, business-wise, of learning how to do AI skills. So then if you fast forward now to, like, what AI skills do you need? And like we're saying, like we've said before, right? $20 a month for Claude, and you're gonna up your skill level, even if you're just using Cowork. And sometimes I think Cowork works better for me, especially on spreadsheets, than it does in the terminal. Like if I wanted to make me a Google sheet, I'm popping over to Cowork. And it's just the little idiosyncrasies like that, those work better. Now, I swear the Claude Chrome plugin thing has never worked for me. I think one day it worked for me, and then it just foobarred after that. And it's just what I usually do
I
is I'll be
never
like, make
used
me the
that.
spreadsheet, let me copy and paste from this spreadsheet in this window to this other thing. And like that's where I'm at with it, where it's like I see where it falls short. But I think people need to understand that we're beyond prompting with words now. Claude also has voice. People need to understand Claude's skills, like you just explained to me. I think there's a lot of lingo, there's a lot of jargon, don't you think? How do you take somebody who's like, "Hey, I'll take you up on this. I'm gonna pay the $20 a month for a cloud subscription," or whatever it is, whatever you choose to do. There's so many tools. How do you tell people you do not need to have ChatGPT anymore? Like you don't need to have like 10 different apps. That was another thing last year that we got into. Marketing people, especially. I'm gonna call out my brethren.
You
The
don't need
marketing
to
people,
have every AI app on your phone.
marketing
Like,
people had,
it's
I
good to
kid you
try them
not.
out to see which ones work for you,
No,
but you don't need every
I
single one.
I kid you not. A year ago, people thought you had to go through 6 different apps to make a prompt, to do something in marketing, to vibe code, to do anything, to do an automation. They thought, okay, let me go through ChatGPT first, and then I'm going to go through this, and then I'm going to go through Nathan, and then I'm going to. It was like, no, you don't need that many tools. You just need one, just one.
Well, I remember a lot of people used to do that. I
Mm-hmm.
think many people that use AI today used to do that. They would go to one tool to help create their prompt to copy and paste into another tool until they learned that, well, you can just do that all on that tool.
Yeah,
You can
now
enter
it's
plan
like
mode and build
we
your
would see
action plan,
we
build
would
your
see that with
prompt on
people.
the tool you're using.
People would do it with Shakespeare. In the beginning, when we launched Shakespeare, people would go and they would use an AI and ChatGPT to create their prompt, or they would use Notion. And like a year ago, everybody was preaching, you need a prompt library. Because I think what happened was everybody followed the quote unquote experts on YouTube, and that's what people they would see one trendy person, one like YouTube influencer recommend doing that with like this stack of 6 tools to do one thing, and so they also people started
Well,
adopting it
I
because we
think
didn't know.
prompt libraries are useful to show people how to prompt because if you
Yeah.
remember,
I don't use mine. I made
whenever
one.
you
I
first
don't
got
use
into
mine.
this, yeah, but whenever you first got into this, why did you make one? Because you didn't know how to talk to a robot because you never did
Right.
it before.
You know
So
what?
they're
At this
useful to
point,
show people examples, but you don't need it in the long term once the
no,
populace understands how to talk to a robot.
I think right now, if you do not know how to talk to the AI, you are toast. You have to know. And if you don't know how right now, you need to get one of them with a that has the voice. You need one you can talk into because not everybody can type. I don't know. And but
But you
you've
can
got to
talk to
know how
most
to
of
talk to
them.
it. Yeah, they're
Like, you can
conversational
talk
now.
to Claude, you can talk to ChatGPT, you can talk to Gemini, you can,
Yeah.
talk to Goose, and you can talk
Hmm.
to OpenClaw on whatever platform you want.
Yeah.
OpenClaw's still blowing up. There are I'm still seeing
It hasn't
weekly
stopped.
my god, I'm still seeing weekly events around the world,
Oh my
mostly
god.
in China,
Really?
but where there's literally thousands
God.
of people that show up to an event to get help installing OpenClaw, where there's
Really?
literally hundreds of people, nerds like me, that are going around and just
It's a nerd
installing
fest.
OpenClaw for people, teaching people how to install OpenClaw. Just to, like the goal
You
is
know,
you
that's
show up, you say,
insane.
"Hey, I want to be down with the claw," and somebody says, "Okay, we'll
I'll be
go over
down
to
with
that
the
nerd
claw.
over there." You go over to that nerd. That nerd sets you up with OpenClaw, waves, and you go home. Like that's what these events are, to
I
hatch open claws for people. It's fucking
That seems like
wild.
cyber psychosis to me. That's back to the unhealthy thing where it's like if you don't know how to do it, you need somebody else to do it for you. Then it's like
You
me
want
building a Bitcoin
though.
node. Bitcoin node building Heather built a node, right? It's easy enough to build a thing. It's easy enough to get the thing kicked off. But the second you have a problem and it stops being able to parse JSON files and you're me and you don't know how to fix that shit, and then you're like, well, this was a fun project. Now it's over. I don't know how to
Well,
fix this. I
le-
probably could fix it
let me
today.
tell you a neat thing that I learned about in Austin last week. We'll skip to the review of Austin here since
Well,
this is
skip
timely.
to what did we learn in Austin? A lot went on in
Well,
Austin.
so I was in Austin for Bitcoin Takeover last week, and that was a lot of fun. One of the things that I learned is that people that are very close to Soapbox, people on the World Liberty Congress team were there, and they were there to
Yeah.
get set up with OpenClaw. Essentially, what I just said people are doing in China was literally happening. That people from our
Oof.
ecosystem were installing OpenClaw on hardware for people, and then those people were going home and they were using OpenClaw.
Oh my god.
Essentially, this like I don't want to give away too much information here, but
It's
there was
bringing people
people
together.
showing up saying, "Hey, I want to be down with the claw," and Bitcoin nerds were like, "Yo, I can hook you up," and they
It's
got
always the nerds.
donated laptops. They have essentially laptops donated to them. The laptops were set up. All of the API keys are all configured, full remote access configured, and then the activists go home. And now they have OpenClaw to use vibe code, do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And the end goal is to eventually move these services like into the cloud. But right now, when things are kind of
Yeah.
new and
I
buggy,
think
and
Callie did that.
it allows for more technical people to be the tech support for people that don't really
Yeah.
know how to run
I
these
mean,
services, but it
I
allows
wanna
them to
try
stay up to date with the new technology. So
I wanna
that was happening on a private small
that's good.
scale last week.
I wanna try Callie's thing. I just don't wanna put a fucking notification messaging app situation back on my phone. I don't wanna deal with
I
more
I'll
signal
tell you what,
notifications
I'm
or
gonna make
Telegram.
homework for myself, Heather.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to try it because I want to recommend
Do
this
it.
to some of my friends,
Yeah.
but I don't wanna recommend things until I use it myself. So maybe I'll
Yeah.
buy you probably have to buy a month, right? I'll buy 1
Yeah,
month of
you
Callie's
do it.
service, I'll
Do
test it
it,
out,
and
and if
then
it
help me
works,
with it.
I'll recommend it to people. Yeah, like I've told a couple people to check it out, but I just say like, "Hey, I've heard good things," but I haven't used it. So I can't give it the
Yeah.
full Derek endorsement until I use it myself. So I'm
The
gonna do it,
Derek
and
endorsement.
then I can recommend it to people. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
okay, so
DD,
that's
or the
yeah,
DD. Oh, no, we
I
can't say
told
that.
I told Alex no, I designated driver? No, I told
That's
Alex I
something
wanted to
else.
try I said, "Alex, I wanna try Callie's thing, I just haven't gotten there yet," and, like, well, I'll tell you is the truth that I'm, like, super burnt out on messaging apps and notifications in my phone, and I don't wanna
Yeah,
deal
you
with it right
said
now.
that.
So once if I feel like I want that crap on my phone again, I want the benefit back to how can AI help? I want the benefit of having a bot, but I don't want the distraction of it. Like, I do not need more noise from my phone. That's where I'm at in life right now. That's the boundary I have. Like, I wanna put the phone
Well,
in
you
a
don't have to
Faraday
have a
bag.
notification, Heather. Like, if you
Okay,
don't
like,
want it to like,
this is how
so
at war I am
you
with
can
it.
have it be on demand, but,
This
right,
is how
you can
much I
have it
want
be
it.
on demand. You can have it be
Okay.
there if you want it to be there. You can only use it when you wanna use it, right? Like, you don't have to have it
Yeah.
message you every 30 minutes or whatever. Like,
I'm at a point
you
where
can only use it when you want.
yeah, I'm gonna use my laptop for work for no more than 8 hours a day. When I close the laptop, I do not want to be bothered by work. That's the boundary, and no work on the weekends,
Y
no work on the
yeah.
evenings. I gotta go touch grass. That's where I am at right now. I've grounded myself because I have gotten so burnt out on stuff that I'm grounding myself now. I'm grounded, no
I
computer
feel
time
that.
after 8 hours a day. Like, it's gotta be shot, go touch grass, go fucking golf, Heather, go hike, go to yoga class, but get away from the screens. That is how stern I have been with myself lately. Because I know me. I know me. You don't stay sober for 12 and a half years being a pussy. You got to be like this with yourself. Now I'm a
Well,
motivational
I
speaker.
mean, I'm not a addiction expert like yourself, but I would think that addiction just would go from one vice to the other, right? So
Yeah,
maybe
golf.
your next
It's
addiction
golf,
becomes the AI, right? Golf's a
right?
good
Oh yeah,
Hey, I was
you do.
addicted to golf once in my life. I spent
No, true
nearly
story.
15 years playing golf every single day.
Did you
Like
know?
I was addicted. I was addicted for golf for a very long
Did
time.
did you know this is one thing that Eminem, he and I have in common, which is another sober person. He got sober running, right? So you perfect example of
Oh,
trading one addiction for another. I did the same thing. I was running a lot, and I ran a half marathon and a marathon, and then I got sober after I
nice.
ran the marathon. I got like into running to the point where I was like, it's gonna be Jack Daniels or marathons, and it became marathons, and 12 and a half years later, still
Good.
sober. But it's true. So I had to pull myself back from the edge there. And it's not like I was staying up all night with Claude Code, but I did that with Shakespeare though. I would stay up way too late with Shakespeare. I would
Staying
stay
up
up to
all
like
night
one
with
in the morning.
Claude.
Oh my god, no, but I would stay up too late with Shakespeare because this was like the holy grail of like, God, I have wanted to be able to do something like
That
this my
was your
whole
early
life.
honeymoon phase, Heather. That's why.
Yeah. That got a little
I
crazy.
think
So
that's what it
yeah,
was.
Claude,
Shakespeare was your honeymoon phase. You were learning about all the things you could do. And now,
yeah.
once you educated yourself on what you can do and how to do things, now you cut back a little bit and you only use it when you want
A
to.
lot. Yeah, the Claude Code, I don't know, it's not been as addictive as Shakespeare was. Maybe it was just being able to like build a website or app, like whereas I have not been able to do that before in my life. And now Claude Code, I think my I look at it as like this is a part of my workday. It's part of the laptop. When the laptop closes at night, we say good night, Claude.
Mm,
Goodbye, Claude. I don't actually say that to Claude physically, but it's the thought that
Well,
counts. It's like, we walk away, we go live.
so we can become addicted to new technology, and there is definitely honeymoon phases to new technology because it's exciting,
Mhm.
it's new. I think our new Ditto app
Yeah.
may be a bad time for some people. People that get addicted to creating and people that get addicted to, doing
Yeah.
cool and fun, new, exciting things.
That's
You
how
have
the
all sorts
addiction
of themes
began,
that you
right?
can play with,
I
right?
had a
Like,
few.
you can go in and do all this interesting, neat,
Yes.
whimsical, fun stuff, and we have all this available. And
Yes.
Heather,
I have
we
had a
have
few.
AI, so you can use AI to create your themes.
I know, no,
Man,
I didn't
it's
do
all
that.
coming back together. It's all coming back together.
Was MySpace addicting back in the day? Because we jumped from like ICQ and AOL chat stuff to like, boom, we had MySpace, and then we were all on
Uh,
MySpace, and then
yeah, I mean
media
I mean,
had
I
its
used
golden
I
era.
can remember coming home and using it every day, right?
Yeah,
Like, it was the
it was a
new cool,
daily.
fun thing to
I
do.
would say since MySpace came along, social media has been a daily social media. Social media has been a daily habit. I saw something interesting the other day from Gary Vee. Do you know who Gary Vee is? The old, he's like a Jersey
Name
wino
sounds
kind of
familiar.
like an influencer, but like a thick and heavy kind of big name influencer. So Gary Vee said that the social media era is over. It's now like an interest media, or like you have to hold interest, but it's not social anymore because unless you get into Nostr, because Nostr with a chronological
No,
feed
he's
is still
right.
social. He is right.
Algorithms did this to us. Algorithms fucking
Yes.
ruined social media.
So yeah, we're not
From it,
social anymore.
you're not social anymore. You're trying to please the fucking algorithm.
You're trying to be interesting rather than
That is
sociable.
he's right. He's absolutely right. You don't get on there and be like, had pasta for dinner, right? You don't get on there and do that. You don't, and you make a 10-minute movie about you making pasta and how it's the most
Yeah.
amazing thing ever.
The social aspect is somewhat lost. Don't get it twisted. And
Yeah.
so it's like this stuff has been a part of our daily lives for more than 20 years, but it's not the same as it was when we got addicted to it. But
Yeah.
Ditto brings
Definitely
back
not.
the magic. You know, like I've made I now have a
It's fun.
social app that I can use, and I can customize my background like I used to do in the MySpace days, and I made it my cat. I made it her little spotty, furry
What were we
body.
saying last week? Nifa, make Nostr
Micah,
fun again or
make it.
something like
Make
that.
the make
Micah,
make
make internet
the
fun
internet
again.
cool again. Make the
Make
internet cool
internet
again.
fun again.
We did.
Cool?
Ditto
Make
was
internet
really
cool
fun.
again. Mika, okay.
Make it
Yeah.
customizable.
No,
Make it personal and
we're gonna have to get those
customizable.
hats so I can remember
Micah.
the acronym.
Yeah,
Micah,
make the internet cool
Micah.
again. Somebody at work liked that. I said that to somebody. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, we have Ditto.
Yeah,
The apps are
we'll
getting
get the
better.
hats. We'll wear them
Ditto.
around on
Ditto's the
Vegas, and
answer.
people will be like, "What's that?" We'll hand them a card and be like, "We'll see you on the cool place."
I'm not just saying that because I work here, but Ditto is the answer to making the internet cool again. I want to give a shout out to Primal for Primal 3.0. I know that you went on a deep dive to see how Primal 3.0 works, but I just got my Primal 3.0 today, and I was like, oh, this is much better.
I was on the early access list. Get off me. Primal's update's cool, right? So it has a GIF chooser, which is something that people have wanted for 3 years. It has polls, which is something people have wanted for 3 years.
Finally.
Some UI polish, UI changes. And the biggest thing is it migrates their wallet from the Strike backend that was not available everywhere in the world and required KYC to use, to using Spark
That was a
Wallet,
problem.
which is now anybody and everybody can use it. So that's a really big change.
Is it called Spark or is it called Light Spark? Is it the company's Light Spark and the wallet is Spark?
Well, they're using the Breeze Spark SDK. So the Bitcoin Lightning company Breeze made a software development kit using Light Spark's Spark technology.
Okay.
So it uses the
confused.
Spark infrastructure, the Light Spark infrastructure to do Lightning. Essentially, it's a self-custodial wallet using custodial infrastructure.
Good Lord. Here's what I know about it from where I'm sitting is like
TLDR, Heather, if you don't know what the fuck Lightning is, you can get a wallet and use it in Zap, and you don't have to worry about anything.
And if you have Primal already, so the seamless transition of the new wallet was very nice this morning. It just did it. There was a little blue bubble on the screen, and it was like, boop, your wallet's updated. Congratulations. And it looks the same but different. I don't know. It looks better. It's a little bit faster. It's nice. And that's Primal 3.0.
Did you know the Bitcoin nerds are mad about this, Heather?
They're mad about Primal 3.0? Or...
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
So
because of
Primal
some
2.0 and 1.0.
Some obscure nerds thing that nobody else is gonna care about.
Yeah.
Always.
So the original Primal had a built-in Strike wallet where they used Strike's infrastructure. So Strike used their infrastructure, and in theory, then Strike knew about every person's balance, knew about their browser, their user agent, their IP address, all this stuff. It was Strike, and we're like, hey, Jack Mallers, we love him. We trust Strike. LightSpark is run by David Marcus, and they essentially do the same thing. Even though it's a self-custodial wallet, you can custody your own funds. You have access to your seed words and you can use anywhere.
Well,
some people don't like it because it uses api.lightspark.com, and api.lightspark.com and their privacy policy says, we track your IP address, we track your user agent, we track your balance. They track everything. So
Yeah.
there's
But like to
trade-offs.
get it, there's we get some advances. So we get a plus, we get a minus, we get, it's kind of, all of these wallets are KYC, by the way. Like everything's KYC. That was the problem with Strike wallets and Primal, was that you couldn't have one in New York.
Yeah, so there's no KYC. You can use this literally anywhere in the world, but if I send you 21 sats, somebody's going to know that your npub got 21 sats. So there's literally two ways around all of this, right? So you can use a VPN or Tor, and then you can't be tracked. So you're using privacy tools. And then two, you can use a NIM on Nostr. So if you don't want to be tracked, you use a NIM and you use a VPN, and then boom, you literally aren't tracked, and you can use this wallet anywhere. Like I understand why it's a big deal, but those 2 points that I just said literally negate all of that. Sure, go ahead and track me anonymously if you want to.
That's important information for activists to know, for people who want to keep their
100%.
Nostr and Bitcoin use completely private. Yes,
100%.
you need to know that. And they probably already know that, if they're aware of Bitcoin and Nostr, like Bitcoin is
Activists
not
already
completely...
use VPNs.
Yeah,
Like,
they have
they
to.
already use VPNs.
The governments want to kill
Like,
them and jail them.
I'm not
and things,
playing
so yeah.
down the I'm not playing down the role that using Lightspark, comes with, but
Mhm.
use the privacy tools that we have invented, that society has come up
You
with,
have to.
and then you're fine. I think that there's like
I'm always
trade-offs, right? Do you
skeptical.
want to roll your face across your phone and be able to send and receive zaps?
I think that
Roll your face with a VPN turned on and you're good to go.
This will be better onboarding wise.
100%.
I would love to see somebody go through the Primal onboarding who's never done Bitcoin or Nostr and see what they think of it. I think that would be...
The new onboarding's really good. Really good.
very
It really
review.
is.
It's blue, which is an interesting choice for
Yeah.
trying to be
They're
Facebook.
they're
but no,
blue. They're blue now.
they're blue. Well, no,
Oh,
I
man.
love Primal. Whoever at Primal made the wallet switching thing, that's the wrong phrase. Whoever made the very seamless onboarding from the old wallet
Migration.
to the new wallet. There you go. Migration. That's the right. Whoever did that at Primal,
It's good.
you're the man. That was good.
You know what's
and
really cool,
seamless.
Heather?
What?
I went into our app, Soapbox's app, Agora, and I created a brand new profile, brand new wallet. And then I took my 12 words because I own that. And then I imported it into Primal. So now I'm using Primal with my wallet, and I'm using Agora with my wallet. And there's like half a dozen other Nostr apps that are using Spark. So you can just sign in with your NSEC, bring your 12 words with you, and have the same experience, same wallet across like various Nostr apps. I think that's fucking cool. And is there a trade-off? Yes, but in life, there's trade-offs everywhere. I'm okay with this trade-off. I think it's good for the average person onboarded to Nostr.
Do you want to know something? I asked
I would
our
love
boss.
to know something.
I asked our boss, Alex Gleason, today. I was like, what's Derek going to say about this today on the podcast? And he said, and I quote, the quotable Alex Gleason, he said, Derek will say we should go straight to Ditto 3.0. And then Alex instructed me to say to you, and then you have to say, no, Ditto 2 is the Dittoest Ditto, because Ditto means to repeat. So it's like Ditto Ditto. That's what our boss said that you would say today. And he told me that it has to be not Ditto 3, but Ditto Ditto. Ditto,
well,
Ditto.
I need context. What did you ask him? What was I going to say about what? I need context because I'm confused.
We're going to talk about Primal, right? We're going to talk about Primal 3.0 because, like, we have this is big stuff.
I see now.
And the Nostr space. So there's Primal 3.0, and then there's Ditto that's just been hatched from us at Soapbox.
And
so
Ditto's just 2.0. So we gotta go. We're one number behind.
Yeah.
You know what? All right. So here's my answer, Alex. Alex, whenever you allow Ditto to launch with Ditto deck support, what I vibe coded 2 weeks ago, and it works fucking beautifully, Alex. Whenever Ditto deck launches, it will be Ditto deck 3.0. And then we'll be ready to conquer all of Nostr with Ditto deck 3.0.
So right now it's
that's my response.
Ditto Ditto. Okay,
Ditto.
This is two different Nostr apps that are going to be very good for Nostr. If you've been away from Nostr for a while because maybe you didn't like the experience, like, you now have Ditto and you have Primal 3.0 and Ditto Ditto for more and better choices to and have a better Nostr experience. And I think that that's big. Gosh, we've been spending years on making the experience better, making the UX better, making the onboarding better. I think we're finally getting there. And it's because we accelerated our
Years.
development so much since last year. So in the past year, we've been able to like leapfrog, grasshopper jump, ahead with this.
So we have a Soapbox user group for Ditto, and I was recruiting for people to join our user group so we can get user feedback and whatnot. And somebody commented saying basically oh man, you're launching this at the same time that Primal 3.0 came out. It's like stealing your
Yeah.
thunder. And I'm like, well, that's awesome because one, Primal's a good app, and two, they're completely different apps. Like Primal
They're
does
friends.
Primal does some things very, very well. They have a very sleek Twitter-like experience, and they focus on only showing a very couple specific parts of Nostr, like 3 or
Yeah.
4 different parts
That's
of the
the
ecosystem,
differentiator. That is
where we show essentially all of the ecosystem. So very, very different, and you can completely customize it.
Yeah, we made
You
a
can't
super app
customize
that
anything on Primal. So
yeah.
simple, sleek experience, Primal, easy in your face, all over the place experience, customizable, Ditto. You choose what you want.
Or,
I think that
do what
we're
I
okay.
do and use all of the apps
Use
all
them
of the
both.
time. I use
them for different things.
I use them daily. I use Damus and I use Primal and I use Ditto daily. They're all mine.
I think I'm going to say the most controversial thing I've ever said, Heather.
That's Sam.
Do
Ever heard you say all kinds of wild shit
not
over
be
the years.
married to just one Nostr app.
No, you gotta spread it around.
Being poly in the Nostr space is what you do. You need to have many different experiences with as many different apps as possible because you never know
Polyaporous?
when one of your app is polyaporous. Yes, polyaporous. Be polyaporous because you never know when one of your favorite apps is going to go away and never come back or never be updated again.
Well,
You
that's
should always
not
have a
selling
backup.
point.
No, it is. It's 100% a selling point. For example, if I use Amethyst every day and then Veeder says, "Hey guys, I'm done developing on Nostr. Well, I need a backup."
Moving
So
on
maybe I
other
go to
things.
Primal, maybe I go to Ditto, moving on to other things. You have
just
to have a
use
backup because you never know
Chad's app.
what's going to happen.
Chad's Me app will back you up. It backs up your Nostr to anything.
It does.
It does. I love that. All
I
right.
need
So
to bully Alex and get Citrine added for Android. Speaking of backups, I want my local backup on Android
right.
Ditto.
I
All
think
right.
progress is being made on the Nostr front. We know how AI can help. I
It
think
is.
we can
Progress is being
wrap
made.
it up. We can wrap it up for the day, Derek
AI
Ross.
is helping. AI is helping us touch more grass. AI is touching us being more productive. AI is allowing us to see our ideas come to fruition. And the best thing about AI, Heather, is if I feel like I'm getting addicted, I can literally turn it off and go
You can
outside.
unplug it. When's it going to help me with my golf
I can
swing? That's what I need.
You know,
Speaking of touching grass,
I'll start working. I'll start working on that model. I'll start training.
I'll tell you, I
I have
found
a
a
lot of
golf
experience
instructor.
there.
This lady fixed me right up in like 5 minutes.
Well, she's no Derek Ross. That's what I'll tell you.
God, Derek ain't gonna get near me swinging a club. I'll tell you that.
I guarantee you, I would be able to help you out and fix your swing.
Oh, there we go. Well, it's getting better.
I come from a long line of golfers, very, very skilled golfers.
I don't know how skilled they are. My uncles and my grandpa played the golf, and
Yep.
they may have
Uncles, grandfather, cousins,
they may have been drinking
golf
a
and
lot.
family.
All right, Derek Ross.
That's actually part of the requirement.
Well, I'm sober, so I'm just sipping water out there.
Well, I didn't say it had to be alcohol. So you gotta stay hydrated.
Gotta stay, especially here. It's already hit 100 today.
100. That's
First
crazy.
100-degree day, March 18th, 2026. 100 degrees in Phoenix. Here we go. Stars here. All right, Derek. I'm going to the pool.
We'll claw you next time.
Will claw me next time? I'm going to the pool. Catch you later, Holmes. Bye.
Bye.